Welcome, everyone. Welcome to San Antonio by Night as we play Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. The the story that we have been telling so far follows a coterie that calls itself the Host. A at first a, a set of 3 individuals, but now only a pair. And as it would seem, the third member of their coterie has gone missing. Wolf, the Nosferatu, who came to them while M and Urien were setting up their little coterie haven, but for some reason hasn't been showing up the past few nights. And so the coterie, believing he has personal business, of course no one likes to pry, didn't bother to try and contact him for a moment. But when they had finished a task set to them by Baron Delgado to retrieve a thin blood that had been causing a ruckus, Baron Delgado sent them to a man by the name of Bjor, who we later learned is the sire of Wolf, and has been looking for him as well. It seems that our Nosferatu friend is missing, and perhaps that's where we will start tonight. Last we left off, the 2 members of the host were in their vehicle heading towards a location to meet up with Alfonso's sire, who they only know as Randy, a cleaner employed by Baron Delgado. And so that's where we pick up. Urien is the one member that is able to join us tonight for the stream. So we will be following his story solo for the moment.
Well, it is of little consequence. Truth of the matter is that I'm currently going over all the ideas, all the ways this can go south. Perhaps Randy is anticipating and managed to get some help to get his child back. Could be a bit of an ambush. At this point, Björn Duval he has been kind enough with information. Still, I must wonder if, with him being so well connected and so knowledgeable, if he did not already tell Randy we were coming. He has no love for Baron Delgado, so he claims. Makes him very good as a squealer to Baron Delgado if the perception is that he is, well, someone you can go to gripe about the current barony. Truth is my ambitions are a little higher than that. But it always starts with the young. This beauty at my side who goes by the name of Ed. And my lost sheep, Wolf. I wish to end up speaking to Randy about the current condition that he finds himself in, and more specifically, the condition he has left his child in. It has not been pleasant. It has not been kind. And It has left several gaping problems in the whole of our society. So now, if someone will not step up and hold this mess at bay, I am forced my own hand. I keep an eye on the road. We'll be arriving soon enough. And I look in the back, and there is Alfonso, with thin blood. This mistake. Child that should never have been brought into our fold. I do not hate him for his blood being thin. I hate him because he has no sense of responsibility. He is a confused child who is abandoned, perhaps not given a fair shake. And unfortunately, we cannot afford to be fair here. I have had him becoming bloodbound to M. Our first of many puppets, I'm sure. He needs to learn. And I need M to be strong. Alfonso is a demonstration. And I will continue to look for thin bloods in my domain. They have a particular interest to me. That being said, I am currently trying to remain composed. I want to be sure that everything goes smoothly this night. But there is no assurances. And weaker still is our position without Wolf. As much as many would like to end up claiming to be a master of the jihad, of this chessboard, this game we play throughout eternity to alleviate our own boredom of existence, to gain power and ascend to lofty heights. Those lofty heights cannot be helped without a strong back, a strong will, and a strong face. We have two of these, but it would seem our back has wandered off. Either I must...
Sorry, you cut out there for a second.
Testing.
There we go. Sorry, I'd lost
I-
your voice there for a minute.
I hope I didn't get cut out too much.
No, it was just the tail end of that sentence, I think. But as you continue to drive, the night getting ever closer to the dawn. It's probably somewhere around 3 in the morning by now. Em starts to get a little uncomfortable in her seat and is kind of just her eyes darting around, just looking through the windows, peering out, kind of looking a little distraught. Urien, I think I want to go home.
Home.
Home. I want to go home.
Do I have time to be able to get her back to the haven along with Alfonso?
You're not super far from the domain.
A Malkavian who is starting to get agitated becomes more of a liability. And I will not push the issue. more for her benefit. He looks to the rear with Alphonse.
And you notice that his eyes are not leaving M. He has a look of concern on his face, and when he sees that your eyes are darting to him in the rearview mirror, he makes eye contact with you and is like, and has a look of, what do I do? He's starting to get a little agitated as well.
Of course, Em, we will gladly end up taking you home. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay.
After all, your peace is my concern.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought I could.
Hey, no. Never apologize to me. Not for something like this. I will handle it. You must focus on handling this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's just go home.
He starts to drive back to the haven.
And it probably only takes you about 10-15 minutes to get to the Coterie Haven. And as she...
I am going...
Go ahead.
I'm going to escort both of them into the haven. Alphonse will find himself backlashed onto a particular pole, bike lock around throat. Though at this point, it's nothing personal. It's simply that M needs to have that moment, and since she cannot look after Alfonso, I cannot trust Alfonso to be on his own, for effectively that's what he will be.
Is she gonna be okay? What's going on with her?
Alphonse, I do not have much time to explain, but let me leave it to you like this. The curse in your veins is nothing compared to what she must endure. Nothing compared. So, while you get to end up being able to panic in appropriate times, M has a different struggle altogether.
What do you mean?
I will educate you further when I return. And when I return, we will have a discussion about clans proper.
Should I be with her?
No, that would be the most dangerous thing you can do. Short of breaching the masquerade once again.
Right. Okay.
This is for your own protection, Alfonso. He takes the key out of the bike lock when he finishes and starts to walk up the stairs. I will give Randy your best.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
He closes the door. He makes sure I'm comfortable.
And she just kind of sits on her bed and just kind of pulls her knees up to her chest and just kind of sits there. Doesn't move. Just sits.
Urien grabs hold of a pack of cards from the table. Places them in front of her. And with a simple motion, draws a card. Places it in front of himself. A tarot card. The card of the Fool. And he smiles at her. You will endure. I will go to end up handling the situation with Randy, and when I return, we shall begin our hunt for Wolf. There is much that must be done this night and the next.
It's getting late. Don't stay out too late.
Focus on your own survival first.
Okay. Yeah, you go take care of everything. I'll be here.
I always do.
And when you leave the room, she closes the door behind you and locks it. And you hear silence on the other side. No movement.
Fantastic. This is all I needed tonight. But if that's the case, then I will head over to Randy soon enough. Head into the van. Hopefully, I don't need to return with a corpse in the back.
One would only hope. But you make your way through the streets, and you find that Randy's usual gathering spot is on the north side of Baron Delgado's territory, kind of in the center of the north side of San Antonio, uh, between Loop 410 and Loop 1604, in the far more eloquent districts of the city. And you're not meeting him at a house or any other kind of haven. It's more along the lines of you're meeting him in a park where he usually has visitors come to see him. And you do find him standing in that park, waiting for you.
I approach him with no hesitation. Good evening, Randy.
Mr. Doyle?
I hope that the evening has been treating you well.
Quite well, actually.
Some fantastic news at this point. The kid managed to finish his supper tonight.
Fantastic.
You don't like me much, do you, Mr. Randy?
You have my kid.
I have your kid in a very temporary situation. And your kid would not be in this mess if certain supervision was not executed. Now, I understand you're a busy individual.
Quite.
So explain to me how this could have happened. You're not... You're thorough with your work. This... No, it's not that you'd like to think so. It is fact. So this does not match up with your character. I don't like things not making sense.
You want these things to make sense. That's... You know what? I'm gonna cut it with the small talk. I'm not very good at this shit. So, what you want to know is how I let my kid off the leash so soon, huh?
Partly. To be clear, when you say his child, he is both of your blood and of your blood.
You got that right. Smart kid, you.
I try to understand people, Andy. In 3 nights, I will have taken the child out to feed. Personally assess the situation. Now, interesting thing.
Mm.
Does Delgado know?
Does Delgado
Just
know what?
that he is your kid.
He knows I'm his sire. That's all he needs to know.
He cares about you greatly, then. Or needs you. I suppose both would manage the same result.
I can't see why the whole city wouldn't need me, but that's a whole nother thing.
Mhm. But more so, you need your child.
I care about him, like any sire should.
That is exactly right. So, how is it in your care? A masquerade breach and a young man dying, as happened a few nights ago. How did that happen?
Well, as I said, maybe I put him off the leash too early. He's a bright kid,
I
smart.
do not believe that for 1 second, Randy. I do not believe that for 1 second. Your job is in certainties.
Mm.
Certainties that things don't get found out. One who covers up these messes in the first place would be making sure their progeny would be held to that same standard. The very last kindred I would ever expect to end up doing so would be the child of Mr. Randy. And I'm going to hammer that into your child's head, come hell or high water.
Maybe you'd actually get him to listen to you.
I would hope he would listen to someone, or else drastic measures would have to be taken, and I will not. He stops himself. I will not allow him to be brought to ash over an assumption that he will play by the rules.
Do you have much experience with Bloods, Mr. Doyle?
What would you suppose, Mr. Randy, as thorough as you are?
I don't know. I don't know you very much. Hardly at all, really. You keep to yourself.
Well, isn't this just a fantastic opportunity for you?
So how about you enlighten me?
Well, let's start with what do you actually know? Say you don't know much, but you know me by name.
Know you by name. Know you by
So,
reputation.
so you've heard of what happened in that hellhole called Jackson.
The rumor, you know.
Which rumor is that?
Well, the
There's
fact
plenty
is.
I need to keep him in contact with.
Mm, well, there's the facts that Prince Marius. What was it?
Calhoun.
Calhoun got dethroned by a bunch of anarch neonates. Your
I
name's
would
one of
say
them.
we I would say we did a bit more than dethrone Prince Marius Calhoun. See,
Those are the facts, though.
those are the facts. So let me let you in on a little secret, Randy.
Insider story. All right.
You need to know who you're dealing with. So allow me to express what you had to do. The sheriff. We quartered him with pickup trucks and chain. My mentor had a chain wrapped around his left leg. Did you know that it's more likely that the right leg is the one to tear off before the left when you quarter someone?
Never done it myself.
See, we did. V8's revving in all four directions. And as he screamed, oh, his potence was something else, I will be sure, but it's only so long the blood will last before the V8 engine takes its hold. And then once he was torn to pieces, we drag raced with the remains, leaving ash and skid marks up and down the perimeter highway. We were counting on the rain to cover up most of it. And then there was the harpy, who decided that we were scoundrels, firebombed our havens, in fact. So we thought one good turn deserves another. So we barred her nightclub, the windows and doors, and we burned 300 people and herself alive in it.
That's intense,
Fires get
sure.
so out of control. And then the prince, Marius Calhoun. If that's what we did to his court, what do you think we would have done to that son of a bitch?
I do like a good story.
Are you familiar with the fable of the Chinese chefs?
Not sure that I am. Texas born and raised, you see.
It's quite alright. You'll appreciate this one. It's one that's quite dear to my heart, given the condition we share. You see, there was this one individual that he was a chef that, well, let's say a maitre d', and he scorned his chefs. And he had several restaurants contending with him. He scorned them time and time again, cutting their pay, cutting their hours, letting their children starve just so that they would have the privilege of working on weekends, calling them at inopportune times, doing everything he could to keep the business afloat, meanwhile making his, well, his servants' lives a living hell. So they had enough. They tied the man down. And each one took a mouthful of his flesh. He was screaming the whole time. But, you see, because of the nature of his death, no one can be fully sure who was responsible for that lethal bite. Was it the bleed out? Was it the shock? Was it the third shift or the 30th? Who's to say? You see, in Jackson, when we said we went anarch, that we fought and tore the whole thing down from top to bottom. We lost a lot of good people, which fueled our rage, which built up into ungodly fire that threatened to burn the gates of heaven down. That's one rumor anyway.
Sounds more like an insider story to me.
Depends who you ask.
Suppose.
So understand, when I run into something that threatens me and mine, I will take no pleasure in it. But there are no restrictions to what I will do.
Mm.
I need to make that clear for you, Randy. Because at this point, you are one of mine. Your child is one of mine. Welcome in my domain always. And more importantly, if someone were to come at you, displease you, I would be love to end up knowing because he placed his hand on Randy's shoulder. I care deeply for my friends. And they died fighting with me. I would like to be friends, Randy.
Hmm. Well, I'm a pretty easy man to get along with.
Treat your boy right. Make sure he's in bed before bedtime. And make sure he ends up going to bed with a full belly. Keep his nose out of trouble. Bring him to you in time to be able to see a difference, or if he is indeed a changed man. Do I have your conditions set in some modicum of understanding?
That's agreeable. So your intention is to try and teach him?
It is what I do. I am a teacher, first and foremost, of the mind, of the spirit, of the body. I am a teacher first and foremost. And when I do so, as they learn, as they prove they can handle responsibility, I let the leash out a little bit more. And a little bit more. And if he is agreeable, I have no qualms in letting him run around in the backyard.
He's got a bit of a temper, much like all of us who are truly gifted.
Mm. So I have observed. Did you know he attacked Delgado?
Delgado.
See?
Why in the fuck would he attack Delgado?
Well, it had to do with the fact that in order to spare his life, I needed to make an example. I made very sure Delgado understood where my loyalties lie. My loyalties lie in him. And his best interest is for you to keep on the right side of the earth. In order to do that, he needs the leverage over you in the form of your child. I do not wish that. I would much rather Alfonso be an upstanding member of our little community. But in order for him to do that, he has to want that. And in order for him to want that, he needs to truly understand the scope of what he is involved in. find his trade, as it were, and much like you found yours.
Mm. We all have skills.
I I would agree, but I'd much rather be dealing with you than Alfonso. No offense.
Hmm. He has a bit of a mouth, but with his skill set, he's not unable to protect himself.
His skill set seemed somewhat questionable. He couldn't tell me what he could do. Then I asked him what was he good at. Give him a focus. Give him a chance to build himself.
Hmm.
I won't. He has eternity. He has eternity to be able to build himself. But he can't last that long if he doesn't put the effort in now. If it does not become a habit. He will instead become a mongrel. Damn his blood. Whatever it may be. Thin or thick. Bruja or Toreador. Gangrel or Malkavian. It does not matter. What matters is he understands this connection we all have. And I need to protect us all.
As do
How
I.
can you? So how do we help each other do that?
Well, I suppose you're wanting something for taking care of my kid. As
No,
no.
no. This is a service I offer because he's a wayward child. I'm not here to wrangle something out of you, Randy. I'm here to do what is right. And there's something that happened which I still do not understand. You said you let him off the leash early. I do not believe that for a second. I'm not asking you for anything here, Randy, but the truth. Because if I am to help him, I need to know who and what I am dealing with. And if you're incapable of doing that right now, I have to make some very dangerous assumptions. And I'd rather not work off of those. I have had every opportunity since I've spoken with Delgado to speak about this matter. I have not, save for one individual who is unaware of what it is they are hearing. That one individual is under test much like your child. As they are to me, he will be to them.
Alright.
So what actually happened, Randy?
Well, when I embraced him, it took a while for it to settle, and it turns out it wasn't thick, but he had that temper. That temper that we all get. I've tried over the last couple of years to really kind of iron it into him that he needs to be careful. And for the most part, he was. But he never quite got the hang of putting the reins on. And every now and then, those reins just snapped. And and I've been able to contain it for the better part of 4 years. Has it been 4 years already?
So how did Delgado find out?
Beats fucking me.
I have a theory. Nothing proven. If it's of interest to you.
I'd be interested to know.
It would seem that one of my own blood has placed himself in a position to be able to tell Delgado. This concerns me because it happened on my watch, implying one of my own has an eye on my turf, so to speak.
Everybody's kind of watching the host these days. You're new. Well, new in owning domain, anyway.
And yet, let me wonder. Sorry, my cat is doing something. I have no idea what the hell they're doing.
Ha, cats.
He let off the leash. What was he doing in my domain? You didn't let him off the leash
No,
to go into someplace else, right? And he killed his best friend, implying, of course, that his friend to him weren't supposed to be speaking. If they were not supposed to be speaking, well, doesn't that just imply all kinds of interesting things? So, it takes a moment.
Randy just has his arms folded in front of him.
I think at this point, the safest thing to do is to track down every close friend he had and then remove them from the board. Let him know. And when he knows what I've done, he'll come running to you. He'll be angry, of course. Then he'll have no reason. No reason left to start interfering with mortal affairs.
You would have him isolate himself from the world.
If he is unable to handle the world, and that's me being kind, Randy. But we will see where it goes.
I mean, if you want to start going after all of his friends, that's on you.
Oh, I know. I'm quite aware, and I'm full well accepting the responsibility. But I'm looking for better answers, Randy, and I would rather hear them from his father.
Well, I wouldn't say that removing his friends from the board would be a great idea. Simply because there'd be investigations. I have to clean all of that up. That's kind of my job.
You only need to clean up them breaches of our sworn silence. A regular bullet to the head hardly qualifies. A hanging, an accident. You know, sometimes wheelchairs and stairs can be tricky.
You'd stoop that low.
Like I said, Randy, I have no qualms in that. Because ultimately, what we both want is freedom. That comes with the good and the bad. And my freedom to remain alive, such as it is, and keep my friends, he pats on the shoulders, in good health, is of the utmost importance to me. So, understand, he lowers his voice, this is not a hostage situation. I have no interest in making it so. But I needed to understand what is happening. So,
Yeah.
any other questions you have for me, Mr. Randy?
I'm just curious. How do you intend to teach an obstinate kid who, by all accounts, wouldn't listen to me?
Well, first and foremost, give him something that he can actually focus on. And I believe I may have found it. That focus gives purpose. That purpose provokes action. And that action is practiced to refine purpose. Cycles are not always vicious. Sometimes they can be quite benevolent.
Hmm.
My kindness is extended to those who deserve it, Randy. And as far as I can see, you deserve it. I am only giving Alfonso the chance to prove it as well.
Alright.
Now, have I been unfair in any way in this dealing, as unfortunate as it is?
Not so far as I can tell. Fairly amicable, Mr. Doyle.
I try to be. It is getting late. I
That it
wanted to
is.
let you know that for the time being, I see no reason to be able to, well, get along. Though I will have to say one thing that Baron Delgado did offer. More accurately, I have a life debt upon Alfonso.
Aha.
The, re- the reason I have taken it is because now there is a public interest in me keeping him alive. I imagine, considering you're probably thinking of me as a very vicious son of a bitch right now. Try and imagine what I would do to somebody who hurt Alfonso, took him away from us. They incur that debt, and I would see you inherit it.
Given the story you just gave me about what happened to Jackson, I don't doubt you for 1 second.
It's a amazing point to be able to protect your child, there isn't it? What kindred would touch him now, knowing who holds his life debt?
Not everybody knows about your reputation, Mr. Doyle.
Hmm.
But
But they wonder, and that is enough. And now when you hear about them, you have a story to tell.
An insider story.
For you to understand context. Nothing more.
Fair enough.
Good evening, Mr. Andy.
You too. And
Urien takes a step back and starts to walk away, though he is very cautious to observe Randy if his shadow is going to be creeping up on him with a stake, what have you.
when you do peer behind you, he doesn't move. He just simply stands there, waits for you to leave. And when you get into your car to drive away, he's
I'm
already
checking
gone.
the car first.
Of course.
Checking the car for homemade explosives or something. That seems a little too obvious.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a wits or resolve investigation.
Sure. Sorry, I was just scarfing down wings real quick, so
Go for it.
I gotta wipe my fingers off first. Resolve plus investigation. And can I add my... Oh, no. Nope. Don't have heightened senses, so...
With 4 successes, you check the car thoroughly. There is nothing in the back seat. There's nothing in the front seat. There's nothing underneath. There is nothing under the hood. There's nothing in the trunk. Given your history, you might know what these look like.
Well, I can only hope. Who knows where technology has gone these days? Well, with that, I drive to my haven.
And to your haven you go. No, the traffic is light this early in the morning. You know that it's going to be the morning rush fairly soon as people start making their way out into the world to join the dawn and greet a new day of work, of school, of life. While you sleep, what you can call sleep. Really, it's just the resting of a corpse on the floor, on a bed, in the basement. Who knows? But a new day will begin. A new night will begin. What are your plans from here, Mr. Doyle?
Well, thankfully, hunger does not increase. So, at this point, I am going to first check in on M. Is M still in her room? Is she alright?
She has not unlocked it, and still you hear nothing really. Usually about this time, you give it a knock, and after a second, the door kind of cracks open, and you see M's eyes, bleary as they might be. But she doesn't open it all the way, she just opens it a crack.
May you sense the unseen?
Yes, you may.
Just to see, like, is there any magic or any spirits or anything like that involving our room?
When you open up your senses to the more spiritual plane that may overtop may reside over top of this one and open your eyes to what may be lurking in the dark outside of vision. You don't see anything new. The only thing that you see is the wards that coat the front door. But that's all.
I just wanted to check in on you. Wanted to make sure you were still here. I will not ask you to follow, but know that I will be looking for a wolf.
Do you have
Do
any
you
idea
have
where to
blood?
find him?
None. But that has never stopped me before. It cannot stop me.
Okay. I have a bag in the fridge, but I'm okay for now. I'll be okay.
Not for now. You are responsible for feeding Alfonso.
Yeah. I'll get to that.
I have to leave him in your care. He is in the basement to the chain.
Okay. I've, I've, I'm just trying to be
You
useful.
do not need. You stay in there if it suits you. I will never force you to do anything unless it's absolutely necessary. This is not simply a convenience. So, with that, I will leave you be.
Find a wolf. Or clues. I'm worried about him.
It's alright. This will be tricky, but I can do it. He starts to walk out.
She just
First,
nods a little bit and closes the door as you leave.
he goes immediately to Wolf's room. Now, he probably hasn't done much for his own room in the Haven as he had more comfortable places to stay, but maybe he can find a clue in here first. It's the closest place.
Okay. When you enter the room, you do see a few bits of clothing. Nothing, maybe a t-shirt. Aside from that, though, the bed is made the 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 sunlight protection on the windows is solid. It's unmoved. You don't see anything in the immediate vicinity. Do you wish to investigate the room?
Most certainly.
Okay. Then a wits or resolve investigation, please. Depending how long you're going to take to do this. Okay. You look around the room. You're looking for anything, any kind of indicator of personality, of something about Wolf that might give you a clue as to his history, his motives, his sensibilities. You find that aside from the t-shirt in the room, there's nothing of any real consequence. It seems as if Wolf was fastidious about keeping clean, and this t-shirt may have been left not on purpose. It might have been dropped. the way you found it. He left in a hurry, maybe.
I take a look at the t-shirt. See what I can peruse about it.
It's simple, black, nothing nothing terribly noticeable about it except that it isn't new. It's fairly old. You guess that if it's an older shirt there is the potential that not much in the way of size actually changed with his transformation. Maybe height, maybe length, but shirt size didn't change at all.
Yes. Well, that being said, I'm currently going over my own notes. I'm going to take a moment to speak to Alfonso to explain the situation now that I have a bit more time. And then I am going to go over to a very specific house while it is still not horribly late.
All right. You make your way down to the basement, and Alfonso is there against the pole, the bike chain around his neck, as you left him. Awake, but as you left him.
Good evening, Alfonso.
Hey, she hasn't come down yet. Is she okay?
I have just checked in on her, and unfortunately the answer is no.
Okay.
Understand, until a certain point of trust has been made, I would prefer you stay down here.
Okay.
But I am not going to end up leaving you down here without at least some answers.
Yeah, that would be kind of nice.
Now I am told Urien makes sure that there's a seat under Alfonso's, or so Alfonso can sit. I am led to believe that you have more of a temper than many would assume.
That's what Randy said. I can't say that I've met any other people like me, like you, like M.
Did he ever say the words frenzy?
Yeah, that seems right.
Inside each of us, Alfonso is a beast. Unique to you. Thin bloods do not usually have such an overt beast. Yours, however, stays much closer to the surface, as most who still hold the title of generation.
As in, it's not supposed to have happened.
In thin bloods, it does not normally happen, no. You are quite the exception. Perhaps that might be enough to keep you around.
Huh.
You had questions. I will answer to the best of my ability, but I cannot stay too long.
How do you deal with it? It just comes out of nowhere sometimes.
Practice, focus, meditation. I have a ritual. Not some hooey magical ritual, just a simple routine. Every morning, I kind of
Morning?
pulls out a piece. He uses that in air quotes kind of situation.
Ah.
Every morning,
Mm.
I grab a piece of chalk. And he does this as though it's a very practiced ritual. When he does so, he starts to do a circle around himself in front. And he scrapes it into this pentagram, signs alongside. There's nothing truly arcane about this. It's not
Mm.
like the blood magic that he does. This is an occult ritual that is a point of Levian, yeah, Satanism. He sees some stuff in it. When he looks to Alfonso, he seats cross-legged in the center. I close my eyes, and I picture nothing. Absolute void. I think to what... I let my mind wander to all those little things. And
Mm.
eventually in there, I find the beast. The thing inside, the temper, the frenzy waiting to happen.
Mm.
And I allow it. In my mind, it is always there. But in hunger and in desperation, I have practiced calm mind, and I have dedicated myself to continue on. If I were to ask you to punch a board until I get back, do you think you could?
Punch a board until you get back?
Yes. If I were to place a 2x4 right here, would you be able to hit it over and over and over with the exact same intensity each and every time till I get back, be it in an hour, a night,
Like to
in a
snap
decade?
it?
No, simply to repeat the motion. No objective other than the one that was chosen for you. Yours is to snap it, mine is to develop discipline. And I am highly disciplined. I practice discipline, for it allows me to grow. It allows me to remain calm. Because, Alfonso, when I lose it, when I succumb to my own frenzy, you better believe there was no controlling that. It happens to a lot of us. But the difference between you and I is I operate with the assumption that it will happen, so I never give it its opportunity. You still operate as though it's a may. I'm going to go out and visit a friend of a friend tonight. And I have to already be prepared that there is a high chance that I might rip out his throat. I will bash his wife's skull in on the right in the kitchen sink. And I may even quite literally eat his 2-year-old child. That is a reality I live with. Not a maybe. Not a it could happen. I operate with that being an absolute certainty. And do everything possible to circumvent it. Otherwise, I end up eating my friends.
And his head just kind of slouches a little bit.
Eyes up here.
Right. Okay.
Eyes up here. Discipline is recognizing what you are, repeating the pattern even when you do not wish to. To be able to do what needs to be done, not what you want to be done. What
Right.
I need is to know you are still here when I get back. This is why I cannot let you go yet. And the events I have to do are very important. And let us be honest here. If the roles were reversed, do you not think I do not see you running at the first opportunity you believe you can truly get away?
His eyes kind of dart a little bit. I can't say that I haven't thought about it.
It's alright. You long for freedom. I intend to give it to you. After our lessons are complete. When I can offer you back to Randy. And you really understand the score. That is the expression, yes.
I think? Yeah, I think so. I hope that maybe M can be proud of me or something. That Randy can be proud of me or something. You know, I'm not a fuck up.
We're all fuck ups from time to time, Alfonso. The question is how do you handle it? Do you do it with dignity and grace? And clean up after yourself? I have to ask, for my own state of mind.
Uh-huh.
When you lost your temper the last time, you called Randy, and only Randy, yes?
Yeah. He told me that I should call him and when, things get messy.
And nobody else.
None. Why?
Nobody else. Because it lets me know that I am currently being observed. This is why I cannot let you out.
You can check my phone if you want. You can.
I believe you. Alfonso, I believe you. If I didn't, trust me, this conversation would not be happening. I am going to go. If you have no further immediate questions. Em will not be okay just yet. When she is, she will come down on her own accord. But I thought I would do you the kindness of at least letting you know what was going on, rather than start to wonder if you were forgotten. Do you hunger still? Or are you sated enough to not harm our dear M any further?
I'm peckish. Like, not like peckish, but like not quite hangry.
I will see what I can do. It is M's responsibility. And this is part of it.
Right.
You want to make her proud. Endure.
Got it.
He starts to walk up the stairs, leaving nothing but this pentagram scrawled in front. I imagine it's the only thing he can really see. Scrawled in the stone floor with chalk.
And he just kind of stares into the pentagram for a while as you go up the stairs and close the door behind you. The kitchen is empty. The house seems way too silent. What do you plan to do?
sight the unseen, and I am going to, first of all, start driving out to Officer Johnson's abode.
Officer Johnson. Deacon
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Because I know where he lives.
Yes, you do. So you make your way through the streets, keeping an ever watchful eye for the proper exits, the proper intersections, the place where you know that Deacon Johnson lives, and make your way and pull into the driveway. It is a bit late, not terribly though, as it does seem that there is activity inside the house, as it seems that they may be getting ready to put the 2-year-old to bed.
Urien checks his supplies, spare clothes, garbage bags, hacksaw. It's never pretty, but necessary.
Everything you need to be prepared in case that thing decides to addle your brain.
Still, I'd rather it not. I pull a small ways away. I am using sense the unseen as I drive past. Perhaps Wolf is around, stalking his dear Deacon.
As you peer through the yard of Deacon, the Johnson family house, you don't see anything that shouldn't be there. You really only see the yard, as plain as it is. The summer days have started to dry out the grass. The high temperatures of the afternoon sun scorching the ground, and even the pavement under you still seems fairly warm compared to, well, your dead flesh.
I really do not want to do this, but I have to. I'm going to rouse the blood.
Alright, go ahead and make that rouse check. That beast in your stomach starts to claw at the bottom of your rib cage, rattling those bars as you course the vitae within you to create warmth, to create a lively, if pale, complexion. And it's almost as if your lungs start to act on their own to imitate breathing.
It has been quite some time since I had to end up doing this.
Yes, it has.
I hope that this will be well, nevertheless. He walks up to the door, kind of brings his mind back to a time back when things were different in Jackson.
How does this remind you of Jackson?
Urien spoke very differently. He didn't have this air of an ancient. Instead of a man who was one of the people, when he was still attached to them. before the fall of Jackson, before the liberation of Jackson. Now, he walks up to the door.
You hear some shuffling inside a moment before the door cracks open a little bit, and there is a bit of chain that kind of keeps the door from opening all the way. And you see the man you know as Deacon Johnson at the door, peering through towards you.
Good evening, sir. Do I happen to have the residence of Officer Johnson?
Yes?
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir. My name is Urien Doyle.
Uh-huh. What are you doing here? Well, can I help you?
I hope so. Really, I do. You see, I've had a moment or two to end up finding an old, well, shouldn't even say old friend of mine. I just recently ran into him, but apparently he's going through a hard time. And I'm really concerned about him, so I'm just looking for him. He mentioned your name. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. Dan?
Dan.
Yeah. Dantalon?
Yeah. Dante.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I don't have the wrong place. Okay. I am so worried. I was gonna beat through my chest not too more than a minute ago. Oh,
Sorry, you said you're looking for Dante?
yeah. That'd be about the long and short of it, sir. Um, he just I haven't heard from him in months, and he told me he might have found stories about you, and just I don't know where else to go.
Alright.
I'm sorry.
Did,
I shouldn't be interrupting you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir.
are you alright, man?
No, I'm worried. Worried about him.
I mean, I hadn't seen him in a couple of weeks. Like, what, two and a half, 3?
It's been that long. Huh?
Last I fucking know, he sent this weird chick like a couple of days ago. I don't know. She was fucking weird, but
Then I'm sorry to make it even worse for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant to do. I I just
look.
told me.
Hang on. And he goes to unlatch the door, and opens it up and kind of ushers you inside. Just kind of get off the lawn so that you know it's late. Come on now.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He, he politely takes off his shoes, though he seems to be in a nervous wreck.
Look, can I get you something? Like, I don't know, water?
A glass of water would be fine.
Alright. And so he goes to the kitchen and kind of, you hear whispered conversation, in the kitchen, um, and some shuffling, and, after about a moment, uh, he comes back with a glass of water and motions towards the couch at the entrance of the house and tells you, just sit down, man. Sit down. Here.
Appreciate it. He
Sorry.
takes the water in his hands. He just kind of looks down.
My name's Deacon.
Thank you very much, Officer Johnson. Deacon.
I'm off duty. You can call me Deacon.
Appreciate it. I'm just worried about Dante, and I just called him Dan. This shows what I know, right?
I mean, what? You said he. Where is he off to?
I don't know. That's what I'm worried about, you know? He was he's a doctor friend of mine.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know him. I know he's a surgeon at fucking UT Health Science Center.
Yeah.
The fucking big old hospital over there. I think he
Yeah.
was specialized in uh I don't know, something like I don't know what they call it. This is the fucking lump removal or cancer or some shit.
You know, he never did tell me much about his surgery life. It was a real wonder. Really, it was. But I'm sorry, Deacon. I don't mean to pry. I just I wanted to knock on his door, but I don't even know where he's taking up residence anymore. He left when he bought apparently he bought a house for his wife, and now all of a sudden they split up, or she's run off, or something. I don't even know what the story is anymore.
Man, I told him that fucking bitch was a fucking mess.
Was it really that bad? Was it really?
Man, I don't want to speak out of turn or nothing, but I never liked that fucking bitch. And if she's gone, he's better off without her.
That might be the case. It might be the case, but
And if he needed to take
I'm
a
worried
fucking
about him.
vacation to get away from like the feelings about all that, then fucking on good on him. But he ain't back yet.
Have you gone to his place?
No, I thought about it, but hadn't gotten around
Did,
to it. I have no reason to do it on the clock. There's certainly not any reason to do it off. There's no warrant.
you
Nobody's
got
calling for his missing.
you're worried about that, and you got to take care of your family.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand that. You got a young one, and I'm interrupted. I'm sorry. I'll tell you what. Officer Johnson. Sorry, Deacon.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is a long ass, but would you be able to point me at least in the general direction? I'll bug somebody else for it and just find out. But I want to just knock on the door. You know, at least Hail Mary, is he at least home? I don't know. I'm just running out of options here.
Yeah, I. Mm, he's contemplating something. He kind of looks towards the kitchen, and there's the wife kind of just eyeing the conversation, kind of looking a little bit wary, holding the baby, trying to get him to fall asleep, but he's fussing a little bit.
Oh, I'm so sorry. He kind of. I'll go. I'll go. I don't know where else, but I'll go.
And
Clearly, you were getting a bit. He's mumbling over his words.
you might you might find him. He didn't live far from the hospital. He was on fucking Wurzbach, I think.
Was Worsbach.
Yeah.
You, you have you have a number? You have a number? I just,
I
sorry, I
yeah,
shouldn't. I'm just. You can't go when you're on duty. You can't go when you're off. Somebody's got to look at him, and no one can file missing reports if they can't be sure he's actually missing.
yeah. Yeah. Uh, Give me a second. I'll go find where I might have it. I don't have it off the top of my head. And so he leaves the living room to to go into the bedroom to get his cell phone and kind of comes back out, kind of scrolling through it. Uh, it seems like he scrolls through like a long list on the phone.
I imagine as a police officer, he has quite a few names and addresses and numbers on that.
Mm-hmm. And
Hmm.
so, and when he finally finds it, he's like, ah, okay. Uh, oh, fuck. Yeah, it's the Cinnamon Creek Apartments. It's off of Wurzbach.
Ah, okay. Um, he kind of pulls out a small sheet of paper and a pen, and he uses compel. May I see it so I can write it down?
Yeah, yeah. The here.
He holds on to it and he writes down the address. And he kind of scrolls real quick as he closes it up. And he's scrolling specifically for, as he's pretending to write down the rest, he's already memorized it. For anyone else that looks like another individual who is of the Johnson family, wife's name or whatever.
Okay.
But he just takes that information into his mind for a second, closes the app, hands him back the phone. Thank you. I'll let you go now. You let your little one sleep.
Look, man,
Thank you so much.
if you find him, just let me know. All right? Like, you
You'll.
can call me direct off duty, and I'll file the whole fucking thing.
What's your phone number? I flipped the phone up here around.
And and he gives you his phone number. You now have his contact information, his
Thank
direct
you.
phone number.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it, sir. Well,
Just find him in one piece, man. If he said he was going on fucking vacation.
I hope that's right. I really do. I hope that I just find a big note on his door. You know what I'm saying? Currently in the Bahamas, suckers.
That'd be nice. I mean, he deserves that kind of shit.
He does. He does. All right. Thank you very much, Officer John. Deacon. I'll, I'll get going now.
All
He
right,
places the water down on the table as he starts to walk out.
right. Urien, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's an interesting name. All right. See ya.
Thank you very much. Thank you. He starts walking away. He's careful not to step on the grass. His shoulders are low as he looks at the face in the rear or in the side mirror as he finally gets into the van. His own reflection. I am so glad you're finally fucking gone. Starts to drive. He's got to get to Wolf's home.
And that, I think, is where we'll take a break. Hope you all are enjoying the show so far. We'll be back.
I certainly am.
For sure. We'll be back in a few minutes, guys. Welcome back, everyone, to San Antonio by Night, as presented by me, CoffeeCat, as your storyteller. Where we left off, Urien had visited with a friend that he knew that Wolf had, named Deacon Johnson, a police officer in the SAPD that didn't quite know that Wolf had really gone missing since he hadn't had contact with him in a couple of weeks. But he knew them by the name Dante, Dantalion. And so now we find Urien in the coteries van driving towards the Cinnamon Creek apartments in San Antonio, just off of Wurzbach. And with a specific apartment number in mind, to try and see if he can find any clues about their missing friend. And hopefully find either him or maybe something that would give a clue as to this course of action. So Urien, you are driving. It doesn't take but a couple of minutes to get from Deacon's residence to the apartment complex. It is not hard to get to the apartment that you need to. You slip behind a car just as they are pulling in through the gates. These gates run fairly slow. It's fairly easy for two cars to get pulled in at once. And you make your way to the proper building. Park in a fairly, I don't know,
Unobtrusive space.
an unobtrusive space, something wide, something a little out of the way, but not terribly.
I go into the back and grab hold of a few garbage bags, stuff them in just under my shirts, in my back pocket, along with a hacksaw and other particular tools. Sometimes these things are never pleasant.
Mm. Sometimes the tools are necessary.
Yeah. And I make sure to bring my spare bag, just in case. Starting to walk towards it. And time to make our way into the apartment and check out the hall.
As you're as you're going through the driveway to the apartment complex, the apartment number that you were given was for an apartment on the third floor. Now, given the sensitivity that all kindred have to sunlight, in that it burns you in a crisp in a matter of seconds, it would be odd for him to come back to this apartment without having the proper precautions set up. You you make your way up the stairs, and when you approach, you see that the windows on the exterior of the apartment are not sufficiently, as you would know, covered.
Hmm.
You would suspect that this is a place that he does not intend to sleep.
No. But if it is still in, I checked the register yet. Usually there's a buzzer or something like that and has the name. Does it end up having Dante O'Donoghue listed?
Strangely enough, the apartment complexes in San Antonio typically don't have a buzzer system since they're not typically indoor hallways. The the hallways of the apartment complex are all exterior, and when you look for such a thing, you do not find one. Instead, you simply make your way to the apartment number, unless there are other stops that you would like to make along the way. And
Not just yet.
when you reach the door, it's a simple, solid colored door with simple enough looking uh, doorknobs.
Mm.
There's a deadbolt that you could see would lock from the inside. However, a deadbolt couldn't be unlocked from the outside.
No, not without the proper key. Hmm. Well, simple enough. Um, he pulls out what was a bit of cash that he was supposed to end up. Nothing much, just an envelope with a little bit of money. Not enough to be concerned, but it is an envelope nevertheless. He holds it in hand, making sure it's clear to see before he knocks on the door.
A moment passes, no answer.
I go back down towards the entrance. And I wait for one of the individuals who are probably getting off work at this point. Somebody just arriving home.
Okay. You don't wait more than 10 minutes, and you see a man appear coming out of his car, and uh, kind of goes towards the building, not really paying you much mind.
Hey, friend. Friend, can I have a moment?
Yeah.
Um,
He just kind of eyes you up and down.
I'm supposed to end up dropping this off. It's a application for getting an apartment here. But I was told to end up coming here, drop it off to the landlord. But I realized I forgot my head, slip at home, and now I can't find it. Hey, would you be able to help me out?
Yeah. The office building is down that way.
Oh, of course I got that wrong.
Yeah, this is like all the resident stuff. I mean, like, it's weird that you'd be dropping this off at like 10:30 at night, man.
Dude, I just got off shift like literally half an hour ago. I haven't even had time to shower yet.
Uh,
I'm assuming you know how it is. You just got in.
yeah, it's fucking night shifts, man. But yeah, the
Just
just down that way. It's like at the very front near the gate.
okay. Appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah, and he disappears from sight. He goes up the stairs and towards the second floor.
He walks. Now, he walks over to the building. He's looking out for cameras as usual, just keeping just out of sight or keeping his back to him. Just nonchalant. It's not like he's not practiced in this.
Mm.
They seen a van, that was about it, but, just in case.
Mm.
Goes to the office. Hello?
And the office is dark. There's no one inside. It looks like the hours printed on the door say that they're open till 4:30 in the afternoon.
Looks around real quick. Anybody watching?
Make a wits plus awareness.
Let's see. And
Okay. And with 2 successes, you don't really see anyone in the nearby vicinity. It looks like you are free to do as you please.
mat, planters, door ledge, gutter.
Sorry, say what?
Mat, flower pots, door ledge, gutter. Four most common places to put a spare key.
You uh you look through the different spots that you would suspect a spare key to be for the office, and there doesn't seem to be one placed in any of those locations. If there are spare keys, they're usually, from most people's understanding, would be with the other employees of the apartment complex. It does look like when you peer inside, though it is dark, you do see desks for at least 3 people and a side office. So it's entirely possible when somebody forgets their key, someone else is able to unlock it.
Mm. Hmm.
You do, however, see that there is a night box for dropping off the rent, checks, things of that sort after hours.
Well, it's at this point. I'm going to just do a quick circle around, and I'm going to look around. What's the least obtrusive way to get into this place?
The least obtrusive?
Yep.
Uh, to get.
Just doing a investigation. Yeah, I'd imagine it's wits, since it's just a quick glance over.
Yeah, do wits investigation. You're looking to get into the office building?
Yep. Just be it a window somebody might have left unlocked or didn't bar properly.
Hmm.
Do I see a security system that's actually armed? What exactly am I having to look at? Because if I gotta do a smash and grab, I'd rather do it quickly and know exactly what I'm grabbing for. I'm
Hmm.
also trying to get a lay of the land of where they would probably keep spare keys for the tenants, because office needs to have access to the tenants' locations at all time, so they're probably keeping the keys here.
That is true. Go ahead and give me that wits investigation. All right. With 3 successes, you are able to determine that they're they're at the side of the door. It does look like there is a door alarm system. Now, it doesn't look like it's super complex from your understanding, but it does look as if it's flashing a little light to indicate that it is armed. And you can see that there is one security camera that kind of looks like it spans the whole front office area. You don't know if there's something in the side office that would uh,
Mm-hmm.
that would that would be there, because the door is shut and there's not really a window to peer in. Um, Not from the inside anyway. And so, um, you also
Okay.
see that uh, the uh, the other thing of note, you're looking for spare keys. It looks like there is a bit of a kind of, not really a safe, really, but a bit of a lockbox that would keep spare keys on the side. On the, it looks like it's attached to the wall that would be attached to the side office. It's not in the side office. It's behind one of the desks of the front office, the main office area. But it has it doesn't look like it would be complex to get into
Mm-hmm.
if you were to try and pick it with something. If you had something like that.
I kept my tools on me for a reason.
Uh-huh. And so those are the things that you see so far.
Okay. What would it take to disable this alarm system? I'm getting the impression that because it's a simple thing, I could literally just grab hold of this wonderful little bit of wire that's going up to this roof that goes across to the main grid and literally just rip that out and call it a day.
Give me an intelligence plus technology. Yeah, this isn't really anything more complex than you have ever seen in your life. It's basically attached to the door. It makes a little bit of a noise, and when you arm it, it makes an alarm and sends a signal off to to the police. You assume. If you were to cut the power to it, you suspect maybe it would go off, but you're not positive on that.
Well, it, the thing is, it'd go off, but it wouldn't be sending a signal, would it?
It would bleep for a couple of minutes and then power down because it would have maybe a little bit of battery life.
Then so long as the situation doesn't go and it's far enough away from everyone else that nobody is gonna care. Gotta love these neighborhoods. And so that's exactly what he does.
Okay.
And it sounds like he's knowledgeable enough about the situation, not worry about whether he can do it or not. And he's pretty much established it,
Okay.
or at
And
least
so,
that's what you're telling me, at least.
right. And so you're smashing through the door to get to the alarm system because it's inside the building.
No. I'm talking about external. There's usually wire going to power grid,
Oh yeah,
so that's easy enough. And if it can't send a signal out, we'll be fine.
yeah.
So that's it. That's what Urien does.
Okay. So pulling the power from the system,
Mm-hmm.
you hear it make a bit of a noise, but then it dies down.
Back window, looking around.
Yep. You found a window that was a little bit cracked, a little too much, and you're able to lift it and get through the blinds and everything uh, to get into this place.
Yep. He starts walking, goes towards the lockbox, grabs hold of the lockbox, and it's at this point he kind of looks at this whole situation,
Mm-hmm.
grabs hold of would this be athletics and larceny? I ain't got no time for this, so I'm gonna rip it open.
All right, then give me a strength athletics.
Okay, I'm gonna rouse the blood to increase my strength.
Go for it. Rouse check, please.
I just did.
Perfect. Seems like your beast is not getting upset at you about this. It's definitely something that it wants you to do. But with one success, you 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 kind of dig a little bit of a tool into the seam between uh, the door of the lockbox and the side of it, and kind of jimmy it with your a little bit of your strength, but it seems like it's taking a little bit longer than you expected, and it is not budging really all that easily. It seems to be made not of aluminum, but something maybe a tad bit stronger.
Rouse the blood again.
It's still agreeing with you on this course of action.
I am going to spend a willpower.
Go for it.
Ah,
It's budging a little bit. It's it feels like there's the locking mechanism might be the strongest part of this, and it is keeping it tightly shut. You could probably try and wedge more of it if you had maybe a crowbar, but
what about the hinges?
the hinges look like they're they look like they're pretty tough. They're pretty thick.
But what about the pin?
The pin, if you wanted to try and get that out, yeah, you could definitely give that a try.
All right, that's why we bring an ice pick. Give it a few thwacks.
Yep, you give it a couple of thwacks.
Oh, now we're getting hungrier.
Now we're getting hungry. It's starting to scratch at the bottom of your rib cage, starting to try and rattle you a little bit. Come on. All right. With 3 successes, though, you are able to with a bit of strength and finally just some muscle behind all of that, you are able to get the pins out of the hinges of this lockbox, and so the next thing that you do is once you have that, you jimmy something in to get a little bit of leverage and start ripping the thing open, and uh, you do see probably 10 apartment buildings worth of keys, and they are labeled, so you are able to figure out which key is the one you're looking for.
I take all three. And is there a laptop or anything like that here?
Not laptops, they're all desktop computers.
Desktop, anything else of value that would be easily handleable?
With a with kind of a quick look around, you see that anything of a small size. Now keep in mind that the keys in the lockbox, there is dozens of keys in here.
Oh, I'm aware.
And so you take all the keys and you chuck them in your bag. Um, and anything else of value in this place though would probably be in the individual desks.
What about black box for recording
For recording
security?
video. You don't see that immediately. If you want to spend time to look for it, you can, but you
No.
have heightened senses, and you do start to hear a small, tiny, faint siren in the great distance.
All right, I'm out. I'm going to. Okay, I'm going to use intelligence investigation. Just think, okay, if I don't know exactly where it is, what's the most likely place it is? Just one quick look. What is going on?
Go for it. Intelligence
And
investigation.
and where's the most likely place that they would store that data? So this is more educated guess than actual
Right.
figuring out, but
Right. So, you know that predominantly in secure locations, the any surveillance footage would be kept in either the private office or some back room where they keep things like servers and maintenance and things like that. You don't suspect that there's a big server to this place, really, but some kind of locked closet, securely locked closet, or or the side office would be the places that would keep this kind of a thing.
We're gonna check those real quick, and thankfully I got keys.
All right. So, you make your way to the back. I would assume that you're going to. Are you going to the side office first, or are you going to a kind of secluded closet first?
Secluded closet first.
Okay. So you make your way. There's a. It's actually not on the inside of the building. It's on the outside, and so you go around the building to the back, um, through the window that you opened, and you see the door, and it's got a deadbolt lock, and it's got a doorknob lock. And so, fishing through the keys, it does take you a couple minutes, maybe, to fish through and find the right key to this
Thankfully,
location.
everything's labeled.
Thankfully,
Like you
everything's labeled.
described.
And you are able to pull out, to open this little like maintenance closet. Um, and it's tiny. There's basically nothing in here uh, except for the security footage play, kind of DVR, the and maybe something else. You're not entirely sure what it is, but it definitely looks like it's important to the setup.
Well, I'm not trying to be fancy, and it's not like there's power going to it, so I'm just gonna grab them both, call them a day.
All right. And so you grab both of those pieces of equipment. The wires kind of just dangling there now, just
Stuff that in
ripped.
the bag.
Stuff them into the bag, and you have
Walk out.
yourself two pieces of technology.
Okay, I am going to walk past. Now, I'm under the impression that this is almost like office parking lot residence. Do I understand that correctly?
So the entire parking lot is basically uncovered, and there's parking spaces in front of the office building. There's parking spaces all in front of all of the apartment buildings, and so I guess my question is what are you trying to look for? What are you trying to find here?
Okay. I'm just more looking, as I go through the keys, grab the one I need,
Mm-hmm.
I place the rest of them, including the rest on the ring, so I just have this lone key
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and stuff all that. And I'm going to drop it off just underneath a parked car since everybody's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Something close to the van I can grab at a moment's notice, but it's not going to point directly to the van.
Okay, so
That
you
was
need
the
to leave
hope.
it. That's right.
Yeah, unless I got to leave evidence. It's not evidence that it was me. It's not like I'm leaving fingerprints or IDs or anything in there.
Right, right.
But at the very least, some deniability.
Mm-hmm.
As I go up to as I go to Dear Wolf's place and just unlock,
Mm-hmm.
open up.
And you open up the door. Are you doing this stealthily in that you're trying to avoid other people's eyes, or are you just walking in like you own the place?
I'm not doing it. Ooh, that's a good question. I am going to do it like I own the place. Like, so long as I act like I'm supposed to be there, people just assume I'm there, supposed to be there.
Okay. I would like you to make a dexterity subterfuge.
Okay.
See how nonchalant you can be about walking in here like you own the place.
Hmm. I am suspicious as all fuck.
And that is a compulsion, sir.
That is a compulsion. Ooh.
Oh, now I gotta pull
You
up the
doing
book.
random or are you doing appropriate?
I'm not sure what would be appropriate in this moment, so I'm going to look at the book. Unless you have the book open already.
You can always roll d10.
It's a 3.
3, that's a hunger. I'm at a 2 dice penalty until I feed.
Mm-hmm. Something about that itch that you were feeling in your belly when you were going through all of the things inside the main office. It's just lingering with you. It's not leaving. It is now scratching at the back of your mind. Come on. Let's go find something else to do, like go find somebody to snack on.
You and
Please.
I both. Oh, please. You and I both know that's coming very soon. Savor the meal. Savor. We get. We don't get to end up having these moments anymore. Are you so? Have you grown so fat and lazy over the time that you forgot the taste of earning it?
Oh, earning it. The taste of earning it would be nice if it wasn't for the fact that you had to use my voice.
Oh, are you just a? Aren't you just a temperamental child?
I'm you,
It was
aren't
you,
I?
and you're me, and I'm you. It's funny on how we have these conversations.
I'm not
I
gonna let
will.
this one go, though. Urien. I'm not letting this one go.
Well, let me enjoy the time we have.
Good
And
luck.
I'm gonna end up entering the door.
Okay.
It's suspicious, but it's not evidence.
It's true. So you walk into the place, you maybe catch your sleeve on the doorknob a little bit and it kind of snags but it doesn't really keep you from entering, and so you close the door behind you.
Did I leave any fabric?
No, you did
Okay.
not. It did not rip. It did not snag that hard. You caught it before you were able um, to leave
Okay.
anything behind. But you walk into, and what you see before you is a fairly decent one bedroom apartment, and the front room is a living room that has a sliding glass door on the window side of the house of the building. It leads out to a balcony, and there is a kitchen attached to that without really any kind of division except for maybe some countertops, and then a small hallway leading into the master bedroom. And surprisingly, whether surprisingly or not, it is fairly clean.
He always was a fuddy-duddy.
Quite the fuddy duddy.
Now, but that being said, any mail that's been slid under the door, or anything like that?
Mail would be at the mailbox outside the building. The house itself.
Any? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you were gonna ask me a question. I wasn't.
Oh, I was just presuming that there might be like some nail either under the door or on like the side door counter or something like that. Something that's been. He's organized.
Mm,
I'm using that.
right. He's organized, and so um surprisingly enough, any mail that probably would be on the counters in the kitchen aren't there. It there's
Imp-
no there's no garbage. The garbage seems to be have been taken out. Um, it's and uh when you look at the living room and the couch and everything, the TV is a bit dusty, as if it hasn't been used in maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Um,
just out of curiosity, are you aware that your window's showing your folders?
oh, ha, whoops,
Yo,
I forgot. My bad. All right, carry on.
Don't judge too harshly. We all got them. If you don't, you're a goddamn liar. Um. All right.
But yes, the TV is a little bit dusty, um, as if it hadn't been used in several weeks. Uh, Most of the countertops do seem a little bit dusty in that way as well, um, which kind of would strike you as odd because Wolf's room when you were at the Coterie Haven was pretty tidy,
Mm-hmm.
except for that T-shirt. And so when just walking through the uh, the power is still on,
Mm-hmm.
which is strange for someone who hasn't been at their home or paid the utility bills.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you kind of peruse around and make a wits or resolve investigation, please.
And I have this feeling that if I look in the fridge, I'm not going to find expired wells.
Not find expired what?
Burning willpower. um, I'm not going to end up finding expired, food, basically. 4 successes.
4 successes. All right. So going through the kitchen, you uh, you don't see expired food. All of it's been garbaged, and now the garbage is gone. The you kind of snake your way through, and well, there's got to be something to find. There's got to be something to find. There's got to be a clue. There's got something. Oh, was that at the -2 penalty?
Oh no, that wasn't. Unless you know why I'm not taking the penalty.
I don't know why you're not taking the penalty.
What's the one reason I can't? What's the one reason I can't take? I might not take a penalty.
Food.
So, and what am I doing?
Looking for something to eat.
I'm looking for Wolf.
Ah, yes, this is true.
Uh,
I bet that seems like a little.
oh no, it's all right.
It's a
I'll
stretch
re-roll it if you
next
want.
time.
No. I'll re-roll it.
Okay, re-roll at the -2.
I'm gonna. It's like I
You're
am
not
clever.
looking for Wolf to specifically eat him, unless you are.
Well, column A, column B.
You have to make that call beforehand.
And since I spent the willpower, I'm gonna. Well, they were both successes. That would be 2 successes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, going through everything, you're not finding anything. You're not finding anything. You're not finding anything, and getting maybe a little bit frustrated with yourself, and you come to the master bedroom, which looks tidy. except that there is a little bit of something. You go to look at it, and it seems like a small tuft of hair. You're not entirely sure. You've seen this hair before, once, maybe more than once. It doesn't look like Wolf's.
This would belong to. Would I be under the impression that this belongs to Mr. Duval?
I am gonna call for a roll. I don't know. Let me look at. I'm not sure what roll to call for here.
Are you trying to invoke memory?
Yes, I'm gonna say wits intelligence, like you do.
Okay.
It seems the same
And
color. If it is,
I
if it is the hair of Mr. Duval, you probably would come to the conclusion that maybe he's investigated here too.
probably, but he doesn't have what I have. I am going to. He stops. Uh, he looks back and he remembers something. Something Wolf said. Wolf bought a new home. One specifically for him and his darling wife as he was planning on having a home.
Hmm.
Looks around for photos of the loving couple.
You look around, and it does seem like any photos that might have been here. There aren't a sign of them anywhere around here.
Because he's moved already. He was paying the rent on two places. Smart. Very smart. That being said, he moved. Urien starts thinking things through. And he's going to. Now, do I understand that there is a window out front, leads to the balcony, and one may leave or exit out onto that balcony, and it is facing the street?
The view from the balcony leads out into a small courtyard. The uh, the front door kind of being on the one side of it, where the balcony sliding glass door
It's on the other.
is kind of perpendicular.
Mm. Well, if that's the case, people see me come in, no one's seen me come out. Take one look around. Does anybody see anything? Or do I see anybody?
Do Go ahead and give me a wits awareness at your -2.
That is a D10.
That is a single roll. Hey, that's a 10 on that dice.
I'll take it.
So when you look out into the street, it doesn't look like there's many, or kind of out into the courtyard from the sliding glass window. There doesn't look like there's anybody out there. So, from the third floor, it would be really hard from the courtyard to get a good look inside, especially since the balcony is kind of solid and not really barred or anything
No
either.
one's in the courtyard. No traffic sporadic, that kind of thing.
With it not facing the street, you don't see traffic, so
Very well then. I jump the balcony.
I would like a
I,
dexterity athletics, please.
and that is a single die because I am hungry. And I am going to hurt.
Yep, it is a rough landing. You you land on your feet, which probably wasn't the best idea at this point because you're jumping from the third floor. You kind of land on your feet and then tumble a little bit, and I'm gonna say you take a point of superficial health damage.
That was a little rough. It's time to go.
It's time to feed.
Yes. I am going to.
Let's go snack on M.
Oh, I would. I would.
She'd make a nice snack.
She does. I'd rather not test Alfonso right now. Let us. Come now, Urien. We can go and enjoy a night. You're only young for so long.
I'm excited for that one.
Oh, I'm sure. And I am going to start to drive. Take the duffel bag, start driving.
Okay. So you start to drive. You do find your mind gets a little distracted occasionally when with the idling hunger a little bit gnawing at the back of your brain.
Watching for whatever. Is that a thin blood? Is that? He looks proof off. Not quite. They're just trying to look. And I am going to try and see if I can find where I might catch a poacher. Think about all the places. If I were a thin blood, where would I go?
How do you plan to find a kindred in the midst of this big old city?
You go to the one place they think it's easy to steal. Thankfully, I'm in charge of such a location.
That you are.
I have made it very clear. And that being said, I am going to, let's see here. Investigation intelligence or investigation resolve? Your choice.
I'm gonna go resolve, but I'm gonna make this difficulty fairly high because you are looking for a kindred specifically.
Yeah, well,
and
that's why we got the lane, right?
And it's kind of hard to tell when somebody's kindred in the middle of the night.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. You said difficulty.
I did not actually vocalize the difficulty.
Well, I hope that's close enough. I know that beats our normal feeding roll.
Right, a normal feeding roll is chase difficulty 3. Yes.
Yep, and I've beaten it by 1.
Okay. So you kind of drive through the parking lot of the mall, and you do find a couple of people are uh, perusing around, maybe minding their own business, maybe not. Something does catch your eye a little bit, though. Someone does look a little paler than the others, just a bit. It's the slightest clue.
I start following them, and I end up. I'll exit out the van.
Mm-hmm.
While I do that, I we make sure that everything is put away appropriately, including the hardware and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I am, while I am following these individuals, I'm not trying. Well, to the other, I'm trying to make my presence known. Um, I'm not trying to stalk them. More so, I'm trying to follow along, get his attention.
Mm. You find that there is a couple of men and a woman who are in this group.
Delicious.
How do you go about confirming which one of them is kindred?
Well, if I recall, there is actually a way to do that via smell. It's how
If you maybe had the
many others.
bloodhound traits, or
Mm, I
or
believe
maybe
Bloodhound trait
sense
makes it easier.
it does.
I do have sense the Oh, that's actually a good one. I'm going to double check because I'm pretty sure once I arrive, my dear friend at the mall is there as well. I'm going to use sense the unseen because I have a
You have a
frightful
friend.
friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so the 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 ghost that you mentioned, Terrence, is present. Was idle before, more or less, and
They
when you speak to him, he turns to face you. Oh, it's you.
haunt with me, Terry, please.
Okay.
I have some good news for you,
Delightful.
and I have some bad news. Which would you prefer?
Neither one is of any consequence except if it's in regards to the person who attacked me.
It is. Both is good and both is bad. He just continues to follow.
I have no preference.
I have identified and persecuted your killer.
Good.
He is not dead yet.
Why not?
Your suffering is eternal. I would see his in kind. When he... The one that will make you angry is when you know who. You're a dear friend of yours, Alfonso.
It's at that moment that the ghost, though you can see its kind of ethereal form with your senses, it starts to feel a little bit more corporeal. The face starts to develop features. The body seems to form the definitions of muscle. What do you mean, Alfonso?
Alfonso Hendrik.
Why?
He is... You see that group over there?
Yes.
Do one of them seem particularly odd? More of one of mine than one of the others.
The form just kind of eyes them, slowly drifts toward them, with without you, unless you're moving with him.
I'm moving along with them.
Uh,
I keep a distance. I don't get too close. I'm just making it clear that one of them, and they'll know why, I'm following.
mm. And so the form just kind of drifts around the the unsuspecting group, kind of uh kind of just trying to see which of them looks odd compared to the others. Roll me a wits plus awareness, please.
That's one.
You're not entirely sure why, but the woman the woman with purple hair twitched a little bit, but went back.
Like, and does Terry also here confirm this?
He seems he seems to have seen something and then comes back to you. Seems the woman twitched.
Yes. Do you have any capability of getting her alone without letting the others know what's going on?
She seems more interested in them.
She does, because what she's about to do is what happened to you.
Can't let that happen, can we?
Not without proper supervision to make sure that it does not take a life. But what she takes, as far as I am concerned, is mine and is an injustice. So, we'll observe. Well,
Hmm.
keep an eye out. Second that we are alone, let me know. You have better eyes than I.
Hmm. Fantastic.
And I will end up telling you more on the fall of your attacker.
Hmm. I delight to hear it. And so the ghost of Terrence simply follows them.
And I'm gonna track until it seems like there is an opportune time to get them alone to face off.
All right. After a few moments, the the woman seems to break away from the other two, indicating that she's going to be going back to her car,
Mhm.
and starts to make her way through the parking lot to uh, to a very to the very well lit end of the parking lot. She doesn't go into any alleys or anything. She's going straight to her car.
I interrupt her. I walk. I am surprised to see one such as you. I know a lot of faces, but I do not know yours.
Hi. I'm Carlotta.
Carlotta, such a pleasure. Urien Doyle.
Pleasure. She reaches out her hand to shake yours.
He takes hold of hers, and he hasn't used Blush of Life yet.
The fuck?
Does hers appear warm?
Yes, she's used Blush of Life. As far as you can tell. Anyway.
Tell me,
Mm-hmm.
how long have you been at this?
I don't know. Couple of years? Maybe 10? I don't know. It's rude to ask someone their age.
It is. But it is of a concern of mine. You, my dear, have been feeding in this area, yes?
Entertaining, not feeding.
Fantastic. Well, Carnata. I am using intelligence politics to see who relations, name I would have heard of before.
Still at -2.
This,
To know who
okay, you know
she
what?
is, to know who she is isn't directly tied to
No,
feeding.
I agree. I agree. I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Go for it.
God damn it. Willpower. I might as well not spend willpower anymore.
You're not entirely sure. The name is a little vague. You don't have a last name, so you're not entirely sure. She might be tied to somebody, but it's not really coming to you. Is there something I can help you with?
I certainly hope so. You are aware whose place this is, yes?
It might be.
Oh, I would think you should be. You're speaking to them.
Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah. New coterie, right?
Yes.
Only been like established a couple of weeks or something.
Yes, but I think I've made it fairly clear that anybody who's coming here would at least do the courtesy of introducing themselves.
Even if I'm just hanging out with some friends.
If I were to come into your home to hang out with some friends, the least I can do is know whose house I am sitting in. Yes.
That's, I suppose. But it is a mall.
It is.
It's kind of public. And I kind of figured I could hang out with some people here.
Well,
I'm not up to any no good.
no, I'd imagine, and not. Unfortunately, well, there are complications. Would you... He kind of looks at the card. What is, or actually, you know what? I wish you had, but I need you to really understand. Close your eyes and imagine. And it's at this point I am going to end up going a Hail Mary. Compel, charisma plus discipline plus 1. Because
Okay.
I want to set this up so that I have as much advantage on this feeding attempt as humanly possible.
What is the resist roll for that?
The resist roll for dominate.
Yes.
If I recall, it is wits, or let me double check, intelligence plus resolve.
Intelligence resolve. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't do too bad.
You did. You were able to plant that compel on her. So what do you compel her to do?
Like I said, close your eyes and try and imagine that scenario. I'm
Compel
putting
is
her focus on something.
compel is also one word,
No,
isn't it?
compel is vampire can issue a single action command, no longer than a short sentence.
Oh, I was under the impression that it was one word.
You're correct if you were talking V20.
Ah, then Volvo's been doing it wrong. Um. So yeah.
I told
She.
you it's my favorite discipline.
So yeah, she closes her eyes and tries to imagine something.
And when he does that, he continues to spout off. You know where this is going, and it's at that point he is going to feed from her as though he was just kind of snuggling with her.
All
In which
right.
case, that's actually a dead man's grip.
Mm-hmm. That she realizes that you're wrapping your arms around her.
And yet she can't open her eyes.
She doesn't open her eyes, but she does try and struggle against you for a moment. I want you to roll a strength brawl.
I will
She's going,
rouse the blood.
and she will do the same. Well, she's going to strength brawl. I don't.
Yeah. Technically, rouse happens after the roll, but we'll. So this is going to be 1. This is going. Oop, cancel. This is going to be this plus strength, and I am going to be at +1. And I am.
And you are the victor.
And I am going to take from her until she is down to 1 blood point.
All right. So you raise her to hunger 4. Is that what you mean?
Yep.
That is 3 points of blood, sir.
And when he lets go of her, he ends up saying, I am grateful for your apology.
Jesus fuck.
Now, the next time you come into this domain, feed, by all means. Keep it clean. But when you do, you come to me. And you prepare to apologize to me for the inconvenience. You break these rules, and the next time, I will not stop.
Motherfucker. God.
He's just like he's gonna snap his fingers if she continues. She has no idea what this might do. That being said, since I did taste her blood,
Uh-huh.
I am going to use. Oh, that is beautiful.
Oh,
Taste for blood.
that's a messy crit.
That's all I need. Has she ever committed diablerie? What's her generation? What's her clan?
All right. So, the things that you learn about Carlotta from her blood. She is 13th generation Toreador.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Any resonance?
You know what? I'm gonna random roll. See if she has one. It does look like she has one, and but it's not very strong.
Okay. And because of Bloodwalk, I also know the subject's sire.
Her sire's name is Antonio Castillo.
Castillo. Ah, Castillo's child. What do I know about Castillo?
Uh, Roll me, now that you have fed, your full pool of intelligence plus politics.
I'm willing to spend a willpower on that.
Okay. You're running low on that, aren't you?
Not even close.
All
I
right.
am a monster in this.
That is a messy crit once more.
I told you I am a monster on this.
The Castile. It's not a big name. It's definitely not anyone who is of particular note in San Antonio. Maybe Austin? Someone. I hadn't actually thought of this, actually.
It's okay. Let me put it to you this way: yes or no? Is he that politically dangerous, or is he just a small fish who's caught up in a big pond, like
he's
Randy?
he's in a big pond for sure. He's not a mook, but he's not terribly powerful either, so far as you can tell. He doesn't. He plays the socialite game as many Toreador do and dresses the part, but he hasn't really established himself as someone of dangerous note.
Very well. He looks to the young lady, Carlotta. Now that that unpleasant business has been fixed, Carlotta, let us go and get you something proper to eat. And we do so properly. He smiles. And there might be a slash of fang there, and a little bit still red with blood. Bestial, yeah, crit, right?
She's just looking at you like, no, I
You
don't
will
need.
you will make a mistake if you are not fed properly. Please. This entire location is my table. It would be rude to refuse the host, wouldn't it? I don't think your sire would appreciate knowing that you've disrespected the host on two fronts. Not for a man, though, with such impeccable taste in dress. And he kind of touches her hair for a moment. And childer.
Don't touch me.
If you want, I can do far worse than that. But I like you.
She just
It
kind of
is
stares, and as you walk her, where are you walking her?
to go and get fed. I'm going to assist her in a hunting role and keep her controlled. Because if she kills anyone on my turf, it's going to end very freaking badly. And I can make that happen.
It's true. So I'm gonna go ahead and we'll go ahead and fast forward that because it is getting close to midnight. But you are able to help Carlotta find someone to drink from. It isn't particularly hard since she didn't leave that many people behind.
No, probably not. And as I wish her well, and a pleasant evening, I escort her to her car, jot down the license plate, remind myself that I'm going to have a talk with her sire. This is going to be a punishment that is going to be known for individuals who trespass. A justification, because this is Delgado's territory. He has placed it under my care, and those who are careless in it, I have been most forgiving.
This is your turf, isn't it? My lord.
A small push. He turns like he's expecting someone he knows.
There's no one there. Maybe it was just the voice in the back of your head. Who knows? But that is where we leave Urien for tonight. GG. I hope you enjoyed.
I did. Okay. So I'm kind of curious to the chat. What did you guys think for a Urien one shot? Does this kind of give you an idea of what kind of a son of a bitch everybody's playing with?
Yes. I love him so much.
Why do you love him, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know.
What is it about? What is it about Urien that, like, you're kind of like, I love this character?
I love this character because it's someone I can torture, and I'm all about that. I really am. I get to be conniving, and it's nice.
He is.
Volvo also loves Urien, so.
I am the machine!
What a machine!
Fuck it, I am the machine!
Yep.
Tonight, you drink with the machine.
I survived a solo game, guys, as an ST.
But yeah, does. Well, hopefully, it gives me an idea not only where he's not, but I have an idea on where he's going, or where he might have gone. It's going to take a little bit with M, but I have the fur, I have the hard drives, I have 2 locations gone.
Raven.
What did Raven say?
Raven said, let's face it, you're torturing him in his revenge for Detroit.
Bring it, motherfucker.
I will, motherfucker. Bring it, motherfucker.
You never considered. I take it you never considered that a vampire can easily take like a 5-story fall and at worst like walk away with like 2 points of superficial damage, right?
Right. I just know that Urien's not that athletic, so I had to make you roll for it.
No, it's by all means. It's kind of like, let me put it to you this way: you could say it does 8 superficial damage. Well, congratulations, that's halved. I do 4. Okay, I'm a little bit crippled, but I'll be okay.
Right.
I'm not aggravated yet.
Nope.
I am going to have to make a roll though.
For.
I'm gonna have to rouse the blood for a heal. I am at 2 hunger.
Yes.
Which is fine.
That's what was snarling at the back of your mind.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of experience today because you're by yourself.
I am soloing it, motherfucker.
Yeah, you are. So I'm just gonna.
Need more potato diet, make strong leg.
I'm just gonna go hand wave. All 3 experience. Or
Okay.
3 or 4. I don't remember. There's no
Typically,
one-liners though, but
yeah.
not really. Not unless you can think of one.
One-liners.
One-liners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, I just keep reading.
You. Yeah.
Just 3 experience. Just call
You
it good.
give yeah. Yeah. You wouldn't go into yeah. You wouldn't go to hang out at with your friends at someone else's house and not introduce yourself, now would you?
All right, I'll give you the 4th one.
It's a good point, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. It's very true.
Right. Yeah. And now the reputations start. So, let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to end up finding my. Okay, blood and experience. So that's 4.
That is 4 experience because you got the 1 for the session, and then the 3 bonus for the different categories, which is pushing the
Okay.
plot, which is one-liners, which is best scene.
Um, it's at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Am I gonna spend it? Yes, I am. I am going to spend 3 dots, or I'm going to spend 3 experience for a specialty.
Okay.
Specialty is Kindred Brawl.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to spend 3 on a. I'm going to spend 3 points to end up giving myself. Where are we? I am going to spend myself 3 dots because it's been kind of being advertised. It's starting to make the rounds.
Mm.
I am going to spend 3 dots for 1 dot in status.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Did Bloodleech not come with a specialty for Brawl?
It has 2 different ones.
I could have sworn
Bloodleech.
Bloodleech came with that, or
No,
one other
that
one.
would be Alley Cat. Alley Cat's the one you're thinking of.
I know grappling is for Alley Cat, but versus Kindred is either stealth or brawl for Bloodleech, if I remember right.
Hmm.
And if you didn't take that, I would let you take a different specialty because that wouldn't be one that you already have.
Okay. Brawl, Kindred. Yep. Okay. Oh no, because I wouldn't have had it because I bought my first Brawl, or I got my first dot in Brawl because I
Oh,
didn't
because of your
have a dot in
specialty.
it.
Okay, then yeah, then that stands.
Yeah.
Taking the specialty is
Yeah.
what you spend your experience on. Okay, cool beans.
Yeah. And I am taking in status. So let me flip to it. 1 dot. So
Mm-hmm.
for those you known, a properly introduced welcome neonate and seen as an up and comer.
Mm-hmm.
And basically that means anytime, let's see here, you have a reputation of standing within a specific social community, high status amongst children. Status in one sect does not transfer to another. By and large, status is held over city, effectively reduces by 1 dot. So I'm currently at 1 dot for San Antonio. Good enough. I don't think we're going to be leaving the city anytime soon. May occasionally call for status to go in with social traits, especially for first meeting, court happenings. In other cases, may allow you to substitute status roll for a social trait. Yeah. So basically, yeah, I use between 1 dot status, my usual social rolls, and which I really should have used at that point. um, and maybe I'm going to start leaning on it a bit more,
Mm.
is in coterie, we have 3 dot lane,
Mm.
so I should have added 3 dots to it. But I'll start leaning on that a little later. First, it's status.
Yeah, Lane will get you information. It'll.
Uh,
Just,
because if I flip over, I know you're a fan of rules as written. I
yes,
know that.
I am.
Um, so if you actually go to lane, um, oh, let's see here. Find out word sheet or the. All right, that one's pure investigation. God, I'm trying to remember which one it was. That adds Chase is feeding.
Yeah, Chase changes feeding difficulty.
Yeah, I
Well,
was just trying to remember what it was that gave you a social trait. Oh, right, it was when you're looking into stuff, not. No, okay, never mind. I'm screwing up. I'm supposed to be the expert, Derek.
it's fine. We all do it.
But yeah,
But yeah.
I suspect that's going to work. Is this the end of the night?
Yes. We will start a new
Okay,
night when
so
next session.
I'm going to heal 3 willpower for resolve.
Nice.
And I also heal 1 more because I did find Randy's side of the story.
That's fair. Then you've completed your desire.
And I did roll the rouse check for health, so I am back to full health. Well, sucks that I'm at 2 hunger, but at the very least, I'm there. And I have more information.
Mm.
And I'm going to have to talk to a particular Toreador who needs to check or needs to end up expecting proper protocol in these things.
Mm.
Because somebody's showing Delgado such disrespect. And Delgado runs it. His words, not mine, a very tight ship.
Mhm. Mhm. And we shall have to see what happens with that next time.
I do have one question though.
Yes.
How the fuck is it that Urien is the most successful feeder in all of this?
I don't know.
No. Like, the
He's
fuck?
he had a ghost who could help him.
Oh yeah, because he set this shit up beforehand.
Yeah.
I am perpetual. Nothing I do is just for the moment. It's always setting up for something else. Such as now,
Mouse should
I
be
have an
learning from Urien. It's decided.
you know, because now this
Mouse has
this
no way.
individual has come over, and now
Oh,
I got to remember not to feed on her anymore.
yep, because you're 1 dot blood bonded to her, my dude.
Yep,
So
which is fine.
be sure to notate that on your character sheet, please.
Yep.
I forget. I'm the worst DM. But I hope everybody enjoyed San Antonio by Night, our solo mission with Yuri and Doyle tonight. Yeah,
All right, I
it's
need
turning
put that.
very spicy.
Yeah. um, I hope so. I do look forward to this continuing, though I am going to have to consider.
Hmm.
I'm going to fight it as much as possible. I know eventually I'm going to have to I'm gonna have to take stains for feeding. But if we can hold that off for just a bit,
Mm.
yeah,
Yep, because you do have that prey exclusion on mortals.
yeah.
You don't
Well,
feed
to
on
be,
people anymore. You feed on kindred.
you know what the irony with Urien is?
Mm.
I'm actually safer to just take a human, drain them dry, than I am to actually here just take a few pints.
Mm.
Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence.
Who knew?
So, so you know, so if, well, I'm not going to openly present. If somebody presents me a mortal to feed upon, 1 dot stain. I think I think that would be agreeable. 1 dot stain for feeding on somebody without killing them.
Yeah, that's your prey exclusion stain.
And -1 because it falls into the touchstone's convictions. So the only thing is I got to be presented with it.
Mm-hmm. It's
That's
got to
about
be a
it.
gift. Yep. But yeah, thank you all for coming out to 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 watch me fall apart as an ST sometimes. Ha, it happens. Um, but yeah, tomorrow we will be back with some caffeine fix to work
Caffeine fix.
to potentially question mark. I haven't actually confirmed anything yet, but potentially work on a commission. So
Ooh.
we'll be doing that. Or Mouse's Embrace, depending on confirming things. But
I hope that you've been enjoying that one.
oh, you challenged me, sir. It is not gonna stop.
I love it.
I do it out of spite now.
What
And
time is caffeine?
Caffeine Fix will be at 7 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow and Friday. So be on the lookout for some drawing streams. And yeah, so thank you everybody for coming. I enjoyed one on one with you, Derek. Thank you so much for indulging
I
me.
hope I no, I'm more than happy. I'm I'm loving the way this story's going,
I'm
and
loving it too.
yeah, I'm so glad I killed Urien. Carol
uh,
and Carol. Oh dear Carol, I care about her, really I do. But there's certain things you don't do. And the next time, if she decides to cross it,
you mean Carlotta?
Carlotta, sorry. Next time Carlotta crosses the line, I'm not stopping.
Oh my.
I will devour that bitch. And
Oh
it's really
my.
quite simple. Anybody asks why you did it, it's like everybody gets one. Everybody gets one. After that,
Quite the vengeful
you're
Tremere.
you're not listening. You don't respect me or my domain. You don't respect anything I'm doing. And if I'm not going to have your respect, I will have your fear.
Mm, fair enough.
So if I have to fucking crucify that bitch on a billboard sign and wait for the dawn, it's gonna fucking happen.
I just realized that my webcam was like twitching with the light. I'm sorry to anybody who is photosensitive. Anyway, I'm
You're
gonna call
you're
it a night because I am loopy and
all right.
tired. I love all of your faces for coming out to
All right.
watch San Antonio by Night.
Thank you all. Take care.
Good night, everybody.